This video is definitely sponsored by a subscriber of mine who has a product called Adrenal Relief. As I mentioned in another video a little while back, there's still a 25% off code on Amazon that he made revalid again for this month, and that is REALIST1. Again, the product is Adrenal Relief. Increase happiness. Ashwagandha can ease stress and anxiety by 44%. Sleep. Magnesium is well known for its ability to relieve insomnia and relax muscles. Boost energy. Vitamin B complex can do this naturally without the use of caffeine. No gluten or soy. We strive to be as healthy and as natural as possible. Currently has a 5-star rating on Amazon with 29 reviews and climbing. So if you want to support a J-Snip4 subscriber and his great product, which he had custom made, by the way, with the ingredients to his liking, again, that is Adrenal Relief, and I will provide a link in the description box with the discount code should you want to purchase them. Well, decide I'm going to do this little video on the way home. And I finally watched the Lindsey Williams DVD titled Now Until Christmas DVD. Well, Now Until Christmas. That's his DVD's title. Again, got this thing. We're in September 2017. It's his latest DVD. You know, sometimes I ask myself, you know, am I finally going to end me doing Lindsey Williams DVD summaries? But I get a lot of people that still want to know, you know. So for that reason, I go ahead and buy the thing and do a summary. Why not? You know, if enough of you want it, why not? And, you know, there's enough of you that apparently do. So I went ahead and got it. And I may just continue for that reason if any other ones come out. But anyway, so now that I'm stopping, there will not be a market crash as long as Donald Trump is president, which he also said in his last DVD, and he mentions this. Yeah, I said that in my last DVD too. There will not be a market crash as long as Donald Trump is president. He thinks, now he didn't say his elite friend said this, he thinks the New World Order was set back about 25 years because Trump won. Again, I think he reiterated that from either the last DVD or the one before that. Again, as long as Trump is president, there will be no bubble burst. In his last DVD, again, he said it would not happen until a while out, like many years. It's not going to happen anytime soon. As long as Trump's in there, it is not going to happen. Again, there will be no bubble burst, markets and whatnot. Nothing bad will happen in the financial world as long as President Trump, again, is president. As long as Donald Trump is president. God placed Trump as the president of the U.S. He goes on to show some videos of, I think it was maybe Donald Trump's wife at this first speech she gave, and she said, you know, the reason why we won, we knew he was going to win. He was going to win is because God, you know, God played a role and whatever. Then they played someone else talking, you know, like a news person or some person. I didn't know the second one. I didn't know who the second lady was, but she kind of said the same thing. You know, it was God. God wanted this. You know. Me personally, I have a hard time buying into that. You know, you want to talk about a nation of sins? The United States of America is for certain a nation of sinners. You know what I mean? Is he going to help us out, throw us a bone? You know, we use 25% of the world's resources. We go to war with other countries over oil pipelines, over them not using the U.S. dollar, and we're thrown a line. By God, you know, God, that's hard for me. The moment he is not president of the United States, Donald Trump, you better run, he says. Be prepared for market collapse and hysteria. Please remember, my elite friend has been right for 38 years. What will happen from now until the end of this year? China. He shows an interview with Kyle Bass where he talks about the 9% interbank lending rate earlier this year. Kyle talks about the bursting of the credit bubble, especially in China. And then Lindsey says if the banking system is going to collapse, it will be in China. Ken Fromm, his buddy, said China is the big one. Watch China. We all remember that. My suggestion today is watch China, he says. Their currency will not become the currency of the world. The Chinese currency will not become the currency of the world, according to Lindsey Williams. Again, he starts talking about the Dow Jones. He said in my last DVD, I told you it was going to be a market melt-up. He then goes to read a bunch of quotes from some very well-known people. Most of them, he said, I have a lot of respect for these people. I'm not going to mention their names. You don't want to make them look bad or whatever. I guess is what he's trying to say. Not that it matters. You know, I mean, we've all been hearing it. Market crash is coming. It's, I've read plenty of articles from Zero Hedge and elsewhere about some of these pretty prominent people, including David Stockman, who he also quotes. And and early on, the quotes he's using was, okay, it's got to happen, the market crash. If the healthcare bill doesn't pass, market's going to crash. Okay, it didn't pass, no market crash. Matter of fact, the market went up. He said, I did tell you guys, I was told by his other elite friend, not Ken Fromm, because he died years ago. And he's always, he's claimed that this new guy is still feeding him stuff. But again, I've got to remind everybody, I've seen that every single DVD the man put out, Lindsey Williams. And over the last few years, like as in the last maybe 3 years or so, after, because Ken Fromm, I think he died in 2012, if I recall. I'm pretty sure. And ever since it, because remember, he said there was this deal with 150 or 170 countries, and they're going to revalue everybody's dollar, and they're all in on it, and they're all agreed based off of the gold, and it's supposed to happen, right? Never happened. Then we had in 2015, end of the year, the elite are going to crash the markets. They didn't. Divine intervention. Second time around, 2016, they're going to really, really try harder this time to crash it. Didn't happen again. That's 2 times in a row. This guy, again, this elitist, got it wrong. So that's when I started to say, guys, that's a couple times in a row, a few different things he said did not happen. That is unlike Lindsey Williams, but again, it was based on Ken Fromm. So again, this so-called other, elitist doesn't have a good track record right now. But he did say markets are going to melt up. Now, I don't call 22,000 and something change Dow Jones markets melting up. That is, I looked at the yearly chart, by the way, today, and it's just a very, 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 very slight inclination up, percentage-wise. It's barely creeping up, but it's steady. It is a steady increase. Generally speaking, yeah, there's the ups and downs, but generally it is going up. And he said, when I did my last DVD, the Dow Jones was around 2,000 or 20,000, and now it's, 22,000 something. What he's right, but again, that's to me not a melt up. And we were talking, remember he was talking 30, 40,000 Dow. Well, he said in this DVD, he's like, he's like, I don't know. He said, let's see. The Dow Jones will hit 30,000 to 40,000 before it finally stops. It will continue to climb, again, as long as Trump is president. In his last DVD, he said the markets would continue to rise while everyone else was saying it would go down, which that's true. It's true. But again, I wouldn't call this a melt-up. And he went on to say it could be years. It could take fully years, many years before we see 30,000 to 40,000 Dow Jones. And of course the other, S&P and the rest of them. So if I'm looking at the yearly chart as it's just creeping up so slowly throughout the year, yeah, in 5, 6, 7, 8 years from now, if that continues, it's, it could easily be over 30,000 Dow Jones. Yeah, certainly. But again, to say market melt up, that was the word he used last time. It's hard for me to agree with that term. But nonetheless, the markets have been rising. Again, we've got massive Federal Reserve intervention. It's not exactly a shocker, but in a normal world, these markets would have crashed long ago. You and I both know that, one way or the other. So, Federal Reserve is now propping up everything, right? And now they're getting ready to do their, unwinding, the great unwinding of $4.5 trillion of, buybacks that they were doing, not even buybacks, but asset purchases. And I keep saying, okay, you have them on your books, that's $4.5 trillion. When you unwind them, where do they go? Where do they go? You don't just throw them off a cliff. You got to sell them. You got to get your money back, right? Or our money back, so to speak. Someone has to buy that back from you. The banks all of a sudden got $4.5 trillion to start buying this crap that you originally bought from them, which includes stocks and other things. Again, I don't know. So he says gold. Like a gold member from Austin Powers, Lindsey Williams also loves gold, and that's good because so do I. I like precious metals too. So gold, nothing glistens like gold, he says. He said, remember what my friend said. Anything written on a piece of paper won't be worth the paper it's written on when this thing finally happens. Markets finally get let loose and correct or whatever. Written on a piece of paper, it won't be worth the paper it's written on. There will be a time for gold. He says, gold prices will remain the same as you see right now, basically precious metals, gold and silver, but he just named gold by itself. He didn't say gold and silver. He normally doesn't, but again, they go side by side. They will remain as we've seen thus far this year, basically from now until Christmas. Again, that was the title of his video, Now Until Christmas 2017. And he says, yeah, you may see, oh, they're starting to go up, prices are going up, oh, never mind, they're going back down again. Oh, they're going up. Not going to see anything shocking. You're not going to see anything that was like, wow, nothing. Typical, what we've seen thus far. That's what we're going to see in the metals market, precious metals. Again, it may fluctuate, whatever. Nothing of note. He says, do not sell your precious metals. He says that. He predicts $5,000 an ounce after Trump is out of office. This last sentence, he says, was not given to him by his elite friend, but was his own thoughts. Okay? So he thinks $5,000 an ounce gold when Trump is out of office. That's his take on it, not his elite friend. He says, do not trust any Bitcoin cryptocurrency. They are thin air currencies. He did not say that his elite friend said this either way either. He did not say my elite friend said, because he was very clear when he was speaking in this, my elite friend said, yeah, whatever. And then he would say, this is, my opinion or whatever, or he didn't say it or whatever, his elite friend didn't say it. So his elite friend did not say that about cryptos. This is Lindsey again speaking. They are thin air currencies, he says. Inflation will continue to increase. Gas prices will stay the same, barring a large international, event of some sort, of course, because that would always spike prices. But barring anything of that sort, don't expect anything to happen with gas prices. They're not going to get crushed, nor are they going to go way higher. They're going to kind of float around where they've been doing now, $40-something, $50, $40-something, typical stuff. And then that was about half the DVD. And again, he was showing a lot of news clips and people talking and Kyle Bass and, taking up some of the time. So then he gets into this whole frequency stuff, frequency healing devices, and he was given this one to trial. He didn't have to pay for it. They gave it to him. This water device that you basically pour water through. It doesn't have batteries or anything in it, I guess, because I've seen these things. You pour the water through it, drink the water from the other end in a cup, whatever. Healing properties. There's stuff inside there that re-energizes the water, whatever. He had some little device with a wire on it that was a prototype that could produce frequencies, that are healthy for your body. And he went on to tell a story about a friend. He had a farmer friend back in the day that was lying and fell asleep in his own garden out on his farm, and once he woke up, Lindsey didn't want to wake him up, and he asked him about it, and he said, I wanted to soak in the vibrations and the frequencies of these plants and, crops, my garden area, not crops, but the garden area. And he mentioned how he said that. I'm going to tell you, because then he went on to play some interviews and some things about the FCC, how they're pushing this 5G stuff, and when one of these reporters asked a question, they revoked his press credentials, basically kicked him out. He's not allowed to ask these questions, Questions like, is this dangerous? There's no studies on this. You know, why are we doing it? Nope. They kicked him out. They showed the FCC head getting very uncomfortable when asked some of these questions. Did not like it at all. That kind of thing. They had some people who looked like they were doing maybe a YouTube interview with one of these guys from the press talking about it. I'm here to tell you that probably 40% of this DVD, which was about an hour and 36 minutes, I think, 40% of that, damn near half of it, you could say, was spent, the last half, was spent on the frequency stuff. And he said, you know, I'm not getting paid for selling these things. I was given these things to try, this little water device and then the other one. And I'm going to put up their website and phone number, whatever, for you to check them out. I urge you to, you know, look into this and yada, 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 that sort of thing. So what I think, you know, again, remember he went to the clinic in Mexico and was pushing the Mexican clinic, you know, about, you know, cancer treatment, whatever, healthcare, whatever it was called. And, not to say that it's bad, you know, I'm not saying that, just he went there and had some health issues, or his wife, or both of them or something, they went there, and he put that in a few of his DVDs. And again, I gotta ask, is he going there for free to kind of push it? Is that part of the deal? Why would you include it in a DVD? Maybe he just wants to include it for free, you know, I don't know, but I'm gonna ask, you know, I'm asking you guys out loud. Now he's got this other one where he puts their website up, some site I've never heard of. Not that it matters, per se, but I've never heard of the site. And they offer a couple of different devices, the water thing, and then this frequency thing, which was like, the frequency thing was almost $600, and some of the water things were like $1,000. And that's some pricey damn stuff for this. I'm just going to say, I don't know about this, some of that. But the site is called biophosonicsolutions.com. I'm going to spell that. BIOPHOSONIC solution with an S, solutions.com. biophosonicsolutions.com. So, you know, again, did he get these things for free for including the DVD as a little, you know, kickback? And again, everybody's entitled to get, you know, you got a YouTube channel, you got a TV show, you got a radio show, you got DVDs you're doing. That's what they all do. I mean, you look around the TV, radio, you know, there's a kickback, either they're getting paid for an ad or, you know what I mean? There's no telling. Anyways, you know, even me, you've seen my, you know, adrenal relief videos, advertisement thing that a guy paid me to do. It's a paid promotion. Hey, I've got a YouTube channel, I could use it, you know, that kind of thing. So, he's not saying one way or the other, and I'm not going to call him and ask him. I don't care, to tell you the truth, but he spent half the DVD talking about it, the second half. And again, I thought we were expecting a market melt up, like, you know, oh my gosh, the Dow Jones is on an absolute tear. It's just incredibly, you know, basically like what we see with cryptos. Like, holy cow, what the hell's going with the markets, stock market? And it's just barely creeping up week after week, month after month, which isn't bad. You know, anyone who's got a 401k or investment, you're happy. You want to know next year that went up, you know, several percent from the year before. Well, I mean, we all want that, right? But anyway, so that's it. That's the summary. Second half of it was, you know, kind of promoting and talking about the frequency things and the water thing. It is what it is. That's your summary. There's nothing I missed that I should have said that. Oh, maybe I should have wrote that down. Nope. I pretty much covered the whole thing. You know, very, very, you know, summarized, obviously. I'm not going to show you all the clips he showed, and that was taking up a lot of space, you know. And, but I watched it, you know, listened to it. Will he be right? He might. He very well might. But the last couple things I told you, or there's been more than a couple, from this same elitist have not been accurate. Now, the only thing you could say that might be accurate is, well, he did say the markets were going up and not crashing. The melt-up thing from his last DVD, I get it. But again, to me, this ain't a melt-up. You can't like tell me watch the market over the, because he said something like it could be, you know, next month, next year, next week, 6 months to 7 years from now, where we finally see the ultimate melt up, and it's, or not final ultimate melt up, but when we see 40,000 Dow. So I'm thinking, okay, wait a minute, that's not exactly fair to say it could be next month, next year, or 7 years from now. That's really not fair at all, to be honest with you. Hey guys, silver's gonna rise finally and break $20 either next month or within 7 years from now. What would you say to me if I said that to you guys? Hey guys, you guys are holding on Litecoin? Listen, Litecoin is gonna go into triple digits like the webbot said. It could be next month, but it might be 7 years from now. You know what I mean? Like, you're gonna be like, oh, Jesus Christ, Joe, come on, dude. That's the best you got for us? Basically, you can roll the dice and pick that one. Yeah, I know. So that's, I didn't like that you know, not really response, but that coming from Lindsey Williams. You know, that opens you up to just winning. Oh, hey, the market finally melted up next month, or hey, you know, I told you to take 5, 6, 7 years, and now it's here. In 7 years from, again, we had 14,000 Dow Jones just 7 years ago on the crash, right? Roughly 7 years ago. And it's doubled practically. 14,000, excuse me, it didn't double, it's like tripled now. It was 14,000 high, crashed down to like, what was it, 7 something? 7 times 3 is 21. It's now triple in 7 years. If it were to triple now from 20,000 in 7 years, that would be 60,000 Dow Jones. And now all that's saying is we're just going to do what happened in 2008, the same thing. It's going to go up triple. Right there, you know, and he's just saying 30 to 40,000, and that's when that's going to stop. But it must take place after Donald Trump is no longer the president. So take it for what it is. I can't really tell you one way or the other what about it, other than what I just said. That's the summary. It is what it is. You're not missing it. You know how I do the webbot summaries? I'm telling you, look, there's other stuff in these things. Probably a lot of you would like that I'm just not going to get into. I don't have enough time. I'm not missing anything on the Lindsey Williams summary. I've given you everything that was in it. And again, I'm saying 40% or so of the DVD spent on talking about these frequency things. That was a little painful. But I'm here to report, as Realist News does. Win, lose, or draw, good news, bad news, fake news, whatever, I will tell you about it. That's it. Take care.